Still talking about breaking up? Thin wisps of smoke curled around Shen Qingwan as she lay in his embrace, shaking her head and whimpering, "No, I won't." Satisfied with the answer, the intensity of Bo Jianxi's kiss gradually lessened, but he did not let her go. His slender fingers gently lifted the stray strands of hair that had fallen across her cheek. His movements were tender, as if handling a rare treasure, yet the obsession in his eyes betrayed the madness in his heart. "Baby, open up." Shen Qingwan was forced to lift her head, enduring his tender yet domineering claim. His lips and tongue trailed downward, kissing her snow-white neck, leaving behind a string of ambiguous red marks. Sensing her body trembling, he not only didn't stop but instead increased his force as if declaring his sovereignty, or perhaps punishing her for being disobedient. "Baby, you know my temperament." Despite the gentle tone and undeniable danger laced his words, "If you dare to run, I'll lock you up, keeping you in bed, and raise you for a lifetime." The crisp sound of the class bell pierced the intimacy of the classroom. Students from the neighboring classrooms filed out one after another, their faint laughter and chatter reaching their ears. This absurd kiss finally came to an end. Bo Jianqi straightened his disheveled collar, turning to look at Shen Qingwan, who was still adjusting her dress. "Shall I walk you back to the dorm?" Shen Qingwan shook her head, her voice soft and delicate but carrying a hint of stubbornness. "I can go back myself." Bo Jianqi narrowed his eyes, reached out to grip her chin, forcing her to look at him. His height, nearly 190 cm, exuded an oppressive presence, and a dangerous glint of amusement flickered in his eyes. "Don't want your classmates to know we're together?" Shen Qingwan bit her lower lip, lowered her gaze, her long eyelashes trembling slightly. She used her usual excuse. Her voice as faint as a mosquito's hum. My family doesn't allow me to date." Bo Jianqi let out a scornful laugh, his fingers gently caressing her lips, who's sticking their nose in so far. "My future father minus and minus law, or mother minus and minus law. Should I go and have a talk with them in person?" Shen Qingwan remained silent, but her lower eyelashes trembled visibly. She knew that if Bo Jianqi really went, the consequences would be unimaginable. Seeing her frightened rabbit-like appearance, Bo Jianqi's heart softened completely. He sighed, ruffled her hair, and his tone instantly turned gentle. "Just scaring you, baby. I love you too much. How could I bear to be harsh on your family? Since you want to keep it a secret with me, I'll obediently listen to you." He paused, a hint of a roguish smile curling at the corner of his mouth. "But since I'm being so obedient, shouldn't you reward me somehow?" He stood there, quietly waiting for her response. Shen Qingwan looked up, meeting his deep eyes. The sunlight from outside the classroom spilled in, gilding him in a golden light, yet it couldn't penetrate the depths of his pupils. He was too tall. She had to stand on tiptoe, wrap her arms around his neck, just to barely reach his lips. She leaned in and kissed him, a light, fleeting touch, leaving a faint kiss at the corner of his mouth. Even so, her neck felt sore. Bo Jianqi let out a low chuckle, smoothly wrapping his arm around her waist and lifting her. So her feet left the ground. This position forced her to cling tightly to his shoulders, hanging on to him like a koala. "Is that it?" He raised an eyebrow, clearly dissatisfied with this perfunctory reward. Shen Qingwan's cheeks flushed crimson. She buried her face in the crook of his neck, not daring to look at him. "Jianqi, someone might see." "How?" "Let them see. Who would dare say a word?" Bo Jianqi replied nonchalantly, but his hand was honest. He set her back on the ground. "Let's go, I'll walk you to the dorm building." Shen Qingwan straightened her clothes, checked that there were no obvious marks on her, and then cautiously pushed open the classroom door. In the early autumn campus, The leaves of the parasol trees were already beginning to yellow. The two walked one in front of the other, keeping a half-meter distance. She had his hands in his pockets, appearing casual, but his gaze remained locked on Shen Qingwan, wary of any male creature that came near. By the way, she suddenly spoke. Next Saturday is my birthday banquet. The old man gave strict orders, told me to bring a female companion. Shen Qingwan's steps faltered, a sense of foreboding welling up in her heart. You said you wouldn't make it public, she stammered. It's just a family dinner, no outsiders. She turned around, walking backward, his gaze burning as it rested on her. Baby, you wouldn't deny me even this little bit of face, would you? Shen Qingwan bit her lip, not knowing how to refuse. If she didn't go, she would definitely be angry if she went. What if someone from the family saw? Then it's settled. She gave her no chance to refuse. I'll pick you up that day. Dressed beautifully, Shen Qingwan looked at his resolute gaze and could only nod helplessly. Saturday evening, the Bo family ancestral home. Shen Qingwan wore a light blue silk evening gown, her long hair cascading over her shoulders with delicate makeup. She sat in the back seat of Xi's Maybach, her palms sweating with nervousness. Don't be nervous. She took her hand, the warmth of his palm transferring to her. I'm here. The car stopped at the entrance of the Bo family mansion's villa. The entrance was filled with various luxury cars clearly. Tonight's banquet was of a high standard. She got out of the car first, walked around to the other side, opened the door for Shen Qingwan, and extended a gentlemanly hand. Shen Qingwan took a deep breath, placed her hand in his palm, and stepped out. The moment the two entered the main hall, the previously noisy banquet fell silent for a few seconds. All eyes focused on Shen Qingwan. Xianxi, is this the one you care for? A noblewoman in a Qiangzhen walked over, her eyes critically appraising Shen Qingwan. She's quite pretty, but this dress, it's too plain. Third aunt, since when do I need your judgment on my taste? She retorted coldly, wrapping an arm around Shen Qingwan's shoulder. He walked past her directly towards the head seat where old Master Bo sat. Grandfather, I've brought her. Old Master Bo sat in the main seat, holding a purple clay teapot, his eyes sharp as an eagle's. He looked Shen Qingwan up and down, his gaze finally settling on her hands, tightly clutching the hem of her dress. Qingwan, is it? The old master began, his voice booming. The eldest daughter of the Shen family, yet you look like a little wife who's been bullied? Shen Qingwan stiffened all over, not expecting the old master to call her by name so directly. Hello, Grandfather Bo. She forced herself to speak, her voice trembling slightly. Grandfather, what are you doing? She frowned, stepping protectively in front of Shen Qingwan. I came for a birthday, not for an interrogation. No respect for your elders. Old Master Bo snorted coldly but didn't seem truly angry. Since you've brought her, don't think you can just take her away. Tonight, she stays and keeps this old man company playing chess. Grandfather. All right, I'll stay, Shen Qingwan suddenly spoke, interrupting Bo Xianxi's protest. She knew this was old Master Bo testing her. If she didn't even have this much courage, it would likely be even harder for her to gain a foothold in the Bo family in the future. Bo Xianxi turned, looking at her with concern. Shen Qingwan gave him a faint smile, signaling for him to relax. For the next hour, Bo Xianxi was pulled away by various relatives' toast, while Shen Qingwan kept old Master Bo company in the side hall, playing chess. Girl, the old master said, placing a chess piece while seemingly casually asking, What do you think of that child, Yanxi? Shen Qingwan's hand holding the chess piece paused slightly. He's very good. Very good. The old master chuckled scornfully. That temper of his, only you can put up with it. But, since you've chosen him, you must be prepared to bear the price. Price? Shen Qingwan looked up. Not understanding. It's not easy being a wife of the Bo family. The old master gave her a meaningful look, especially when you still carry the Shen family secret. Shen Qingwan's heart skipped a beat. The Shen family secret. What did the old master know? Grandfather, what are you talking about? I don't quite understand. Playing dumb? The old master shook his head. Not pressing further, forget it. Some things knowing too much isn't good for you. Just remember, that child Tianxi, though a bit obsessive, will give his all to the person he's decided on. Shen Qingwan lowered her head, looking at the intricate situation on the chessboard, a mix of emotions in her heart. Grandfather, Bo Xianxi's voice suddenly sounded at the door. He stumbled in, his face flushed, but his eyes unusually alert. He grabbed Shen Qingwan, pulling her behind him. Grandfather, what on earth did you give her? Seeing his guarded battle-ready stance, the old master burst into laughter. Nothing. Just a little something to liven things up. Since you're in such a hurry, as an elder, naturally I want to help you. Oh Xianxi, my head is so dizzy. Shen Qingwan leaned against Bo Xianxi's back, feeling the blood in her whole body boiling, her consciousness gradually blurring. Bo Xianxi turned, looked at her flushed cheeks and dazed eyes, and instantly a surge of violent rage rose in his eyes. He picked Shen Qingwan up, gave the old master a cold look. Grandfather, I'll remember this. With that, he strode out of the old mansion, carrying Shen Qingwan, and stuffed her into the car. The car sped wildly through the night, heading straight for the nearest hotel. Xianxi. Shen Qingwan unconsciously rubbed against his arm, her voice soft and tearful. I'm so hot. Oh Xianxi looked at her like this, his Adam's apple bobbing, the fire in his eyes burning brighter. He slammed on the brakes, pulled the car over to the roadside, turned, and fiercely kissed her. Baby, bear with it a little. We're almost at the hotel. Shen Qingwan could no longer hear what he was saying. She only knew that the man before her was her salvation, and also her abyss. Morning sunlight filtered through the gaps in the curtains. When Shen Qingwan awoke, her whole body felt as if it had been run over by a truck. She moved her wrists, finding herself lying in Bo Xianxi's embrace. The man was sleeping soundly, his long lashes casting shadows on his eyelids. One arm was still tightly wrapped around her waist, as if afraid she might run away. And Qingwan cautiously tried to extricate herself. But Bo Xianxi sensed it. He suddenly opened his eyes, a flicker of alertness in them, quickly replaced by tenderness. Awake? He asked, his voice hoarse. Shen Qingwan nodded, not daring to look at him. Bo Xianxi sat up, pulling her with him, letting her lean against his chest. He lowered his head, kissed the top of her head, a trace of guilt in his voice. Baby, last night, did I hurt you? Shen Qingwan remembered the wild scenes from last night, her face instantly flushing crimson. She shook her head, then nodded, finally burying her face in the blanket. Bo Xianxi let out a low chuckle, his chest vibrating. Still shy? Last night, who was it clinging to me, not letting me go, crying and begging? Bo Xianxi. Shen Qingwan covered his mouth, dying of embarrassment. Bo Xianxi caught her hand, brought it to his lips, and kissed it. All right, I won't tease you. Are you hungry? I'll have the hotel bring breakfast up. Shen Qingwan was indeed hungry. She had expended too much energy last night. She nodded. She picked up the phone, skillfully recited a list of breakfast items, all Shen Qingwan's favorites. After hanging up, he looked at Shen Qingwan, suddenly turning serious. Baby, let's go public. Shen Qingwan abruptly raised her head, looking at him in shock. What? I don't want to sneak around anymore. Bozianshi's gaze was firm. Last night, grandfather also said that since you've chosen me, you must bear the price. I will protect you. I won't let anyone hurt you. A wave of warmth surged in Shen Qingwan's heart. But more than that, it was worry. But my parents. I'll talk to them. Bozianshi interrupted her. I'm serious, Qingwan. I don't want to wait any longer. Shen Qingwan looked into his earnest eyes, the defenses in her heart slowly crumbling. Maybe she really could give it a try? Just then, Bozianshi's phone suddenly rang. He frowned and answered. Xianxi, come back quickly. The old master has dug up all the Shen family's files, he says. He says he'll revoke your inheritance unless you cut ties with Shen Qingwan. Bozianshi's face instantly turned ashen. Understood. He hung up, turned to look at Shen Qingwan. The tenderness in his eyes vanished instantly, replaced by icy determination. It seems we have no choice. Han Qingwan's heart sank heavily. Jianshi, you, baby. Bozianshi cut her off. His tone resolute. I will handle everything. You just need to remember I am yours. And you are mine. No one can separate us. Baby. Bozianshi cut her off. His tone resolute. I will handle everything. You just need to remember I am yours and you are mine. No one can separate us.